Hi friends, I'm Shauna. Welcome to the channel and welcome to another day of vlogmas. Today, we're going to be talking all about strategies for contentment. And we're going to be talking all about how to be content with what you have. And if you're new to this contentment journey, or you're starting your own or looking to be more content, I hope that what I have to say in this video will help you on your journey. Hello, Editing Shauna here. I have an announcement. It's bittersweet, and I don't think there's any other way to say it, but I feel okay. I am no longer going to be able to complete the 31 days like I had expected. I continued as long as I could. So today is the 9th, and there'll be no video tomorrow on the 10th. There'll be a video on the 11th and the 12th, and then starting on the 12th, it'll be every other day until the end of the year, hopefully. Hopefully that I can stick to that. That's going to be the goal, and I've changed the calendar to reflect that. I'm so sorry for promising 31 days and then not being able to stick with it. I really wanted to. Just some things have happened in literally since December 2nd actually, that have just kind of changed the landscape for me. So I will let you know in an upcoming video. Last year I did a vlog on Christmas Day, which I plan to do again as well. And I think in that video I'll let you know what's been happening, but it's all good things, all good things. Usually when I say stuff like this, it's not good things. These are all great things, and I don't want to jinx anything. So I'm keeping a lid on it for now. Yeah, you'll hear about it, or these things hopefully on the 25th. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I tried. I really did to try and keep this as okay. The last thing, or the second of the two things to say, is that I just launched a channel membership. And if you would like to support the channel, or if you would like to get early access to videos, I've been posting my videos in 3 to 4 block segments. So I had the first 4 days of vlogmas up on the 1st, and then I currently have the next 4 already out. If you would like early access to the videos, to be able to watch them at your leisure, I would love it if you would join the membership. And there's some other great perks in there too. I just wanted to formally announce that in a video. So we'll get back to regular programming. In my opinion, there are 2 main aspects of contentment. And the first is the noticing, or the awareness. I don't think we can begin to appreciate what we have if we can't even get into the headspace of noticing the things around us. I think we can get caught up in our stuff, as in our stuff can become like white noise, or, we can't see the forest for the trees. We know that we have a makeup collection, but we don't see all of our stuff for what it is. And so if we can't notice what we have, or be actually aware of how much we have and what we have, I don't think we can even start to appreciate those things. And I think online, a lot of people really just want to jump to the appreciating stuff. Let's just appreciate our stuff for what we have. Appreciating our makeup collections, our wardrobes, our homewares, our hobby supplies, whatever it is. And if we're caught up in this cycle of consumption, always looking for the newest, nicest, shiniest next thing, then we're going to really struggle appreciating what we have, especially if you've just never been in that frame of mind before, or it's been a long time since you've been there. We need to learn to really see what we have in order to appreciate it. When it comes to makeup, as an example, if we want to appreciate our makeup collection, we really need to understand that we have, let's say, 10 blushes. We need to know what that actually means. Sometimes what can help us see what we have is quantifying our stuff. We could do an inventory, or count up the number of things that we have, or calculating the monetary value of our stuff, or the approximate lifespan. So I'll take me as an example. I currently own about 15 blushes, and it usually takes me a minimum of 2 years to finish up a blush, even a mini. I think 2 years is generous. So if it takes me an average of 2 years to use up a blush, that means I have 30 years worth of blush. 30. Also, if I wore makeup every single day of the year, 365 days, I could only use each blush a maximum of 24 times in a year. That's literally twice a month. Now, also, when it comes to my blush collection, the estimated value of my blushes is $413. My palette collection is worth more than that. I've done the math on that as well. So in just 2 categories worth of stuff, I have about $1,000 worth of makeup. I want to take this one step further. Let's say that you make $20 an hour. You'd have to work 50 hours or 6.25 days in order to make the amount of money you would need in order to buy all of that makeup in my collection. And I can think of a lot of things that I could do with $1,000 right now. I don't say this to flex on you at all. Like, I truly don't. I say this because once I learned the true value of my makeup collection in terms of strict numbers, it was harder for me to brush past something in the morning that, I spent thousands of dollars on. When we think about the parts of our lives we've spent time accumulating, our nail polish, makeup, maybe our skincare, our wardrobes, our home decor and furniture. Oh my goodness. We can get so used to seeing the things that we have every day that they just become white noise. Like, we don't actually see them for what they are. And I think we forget all of the time and money we spent on buying these things and also looking to buy these things. And as well, all the hours we had to work in order to buy the stuff that we have. And I think if you ever need a reminder, having them in a place that you know where they are, they're easy to access, I think it's a great way to remind ourselves about all of the money and time that we've spent on our stuff, but also all the time we will need to spend in order to finish our stuff. If we're able to get to the appreciation stage, that's wonderful. And I think that it's here where we're the most able to buy less, to stop spending or to spend less. And I think it's once we're here that we can begin to feel fulfilled with ourselves and what we have. This is where I think we can really start to experience the effects of contentment. In my opinion, I think it's easier to appreciate our stuff than who we are. I think appreciating who we are is much harder. I think if we can first start off with contentment of the stuff, then we can learn contentment strategies, put them into practice and start flexing those muscles and skills, and then we can start applying it to ourselves. And I think if we get good at noticing our stuff, just our stuff around us, we can then apply it to noticing things outside of our stuff, noticing the goodness that happens around us. And I think it can also help us to become more grateful people because we are literally noticing the good every day. The same problems of noticing arrive with gratitude as well. We can't be grateful for anything if we can't notice things to be grateful for around us. I know that sometimes I get caught up in this as well, and I forget to notice the amazing, beautiful things in life. And sometimes it's really the simple stuff that, we had a really smooth commute. You got your favorite spot on the train. You've got a great window seat. Sometimes my tendency has been like, oh, damn, I have to get up early today. It sucked. But it's like, dude, I got to see the sunrise today. Maybe our coffee this morning was really tasty. Maybe your partner is able to pick up your kids today. Maybe it was seasonably warm. If you look for bad things, you will find them just as much as if you look for good things, you will find them. Number 2, contentment is a skill and a habit. When I reframed contentment as a skill or a habit, I learned one major lesson. A skill or a habit must be practiced in order to be maintained. Nearly 2 years ago, I learned Italian to pass an exam, and I haven't reviewed my Italian in about a year. And some folks have been sending me some messages in Italian on the channel. And if you speak Italian, feel free to do so. I do enjoy reading those in Italian, and I will reply in Italian too. What I really realized, and I don't think it's necessarily a shock, I lost a lot of that gut instinct and that gut recall. I mean, now some of the messages I got were using like really basic, turns of phrases that of course remember, but sometimes now I can't remember the verb tense. I'm like, I know this verb is essere, but I don't remember which tense it is. Is it would have or would have been? And so if I don't practice it, then all of the skill that I've learned and built up is going to go away. If you're not practicing contentment or gratitude daily, or at the very least weekly, all of the muscle memory that you built up will go away over time. And I think that this can be especially powerful if you're somebody who's maybe a little bit more pessimistic or negative by nature. It is absolutely possible to break out of these ways of thinking and to change them. Maybe not all the time or every day, all day, but becoming more of an appreciator, somebody who is more positive and grateful, but you have to work on them every day. You don't just wake up one day and you're just magically content. You have to work on it. And just for me, I'll just use me as an example. When I let my gratitude practice slip and I get into negative thinking, I notice that this affects the way that I perceive others, my automatic thoughts, and complaining. And when it comes to stuff in specific, when I stop my gratitude practice and my contentment practice, I forget to even think about the stuff that I have. Like, I don't even give my stuff a second thought. And that is when I'm most susceptible to the newest, nicest thing, the chasing the next thing, chasing the purchase, or not feeling like I have good stuff because I'm not thinking about my stuff. Number 3 is combating the experiential or lifestyle marketing. This is one of the most powerful marketing tactics out there because it is so effective. Now, experiential or lifestyle marketing is when a company sells you on the experience of something instead of the thing itself. And part of experiential marketing can really play on our fantasy selves too. If a company is selling a planner, what they might be selling alongside of the planner, what they may actually be selling in their ad or the video for it, is not the planner, but being more organized or being more responsible. They might even try to sell you the values of slow and simple living, making time for what matters. Maybe the visuals the brand uses as well helps to sell you those experiences or values to connect with you. They might show you a matcha latte or an iced coffee, somebody in their kitchen with a candle and a beautiful granite countertop, a clean, organized, minimal house with soft lighting and beige tones. The reason why this is so effective, I think, is summed up by what I'm about to show you next. Fabric Brand, which is a marketing agency, they write, creating a lifestyle brand is about defining who or what your customer wants to become in the future and give them the solution that will help them to achieve the end goal. It's not about designing the perfect running shoe, but convincing your audience that your company will make them a better runner. The campaign will get you to associate the ideal lifestyle or the organization and aesthetics we see around the home with the overall experience being sold. They're all part of this package or lifestyle that is on offer. Our brain tells us that we want a life like that too. Lifestyle brands themselves can seek to create subcultures around their brands, but non-lifestyle brands can utilize this lifestyle marketing too. There is nothing wrong with buying a product or service that will help you achieve your goals. But we need to be aware that we're being sold a lifestyle. And when we're being sold a lifestyle, this can absolutely affect our own contentment levels. These marketing campaigns are absolutely designed to be powerful, and marketing agencies or the brands themselves spend a lot of money doing customer research and researching their target audience, and they get to know them really well. Let me tell you, when I was doing some research on Starbucks, the level of specificity that brand does on figuring out who their target audience is will surprise you. They've spent the money and the time and the research doing it. And not just figuring out who their audience is, but actually how to target them, how to draw them in. By the time you even see the ad, hundreds of hours and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars have been spent on researching and getting the ad in front of the right person, which is you. When brands first come about, they typically will create a vision statement and brand values. And brands work hard to espouse these values and their vision, as much as possible. And this is what helps create brand loyalty and trust. Here's the thing about brand values. Advertisers do spend advertising dollars communicating brand values to you. And while this is not a direct sale per se, a specific product isn't being sold to you. But the reason why these things are marketed to you is to help build trust and appreciation of the brand. And so hopefully when you want to go make a purchase, you'll want to choose Indigo over Amazon because Indigo is a Canadian-based brand. They give back. They're charitable. They are really about passion and joy. Passion and joy are both part of Indigo's brand values. Now, a brand might not throw these things around in your face and make them absolutely obvious, but they do spend time communicating these values to you, sometimes in subtle ways. But they can also be attached to larger or more obvious messaging if they're attached to lifestyle marketing. On a personal level, I'm more susceptible to this kind of advertising at certain times of the year than at others. Sometimes when I see them, they impact me very little, but then others really do affect my contentment levels. When I'm not feeling very content, or I'm in that space of letting my gratitude or contentment practice fall off, as I mentioned earlier, I am most susceptible to these kinds of ads. I want that lifestyle because I'm not happy with my own. And over time, I can let these ads chip away at, how I feel about my own life or aspects of it. And this is where I think comparison and really wanting to have that lifestyle or to have that thing, to have that value or to be that thing can really get to us. Lifestyle marketing is designed to get to us, and it can absolutely do that. It can absolutely lend to the comparison, the compare and despair, and make us lust after these kinds of lifestyles and wanting to have that thing or be that thing. And if we're not actively attempting to be content with who we are or being secure in ourselves, they can get to us. I don't think we're ever impenetrable brick walls where nothing gets to us, and I'm not advocating for that. But knowing that we're being sold an experience or a lifestyle can go a long way in combating their effectiveness and their ability to affect our contentment levels. Cool, this person is organized. She's having a really calm, relaxing morning. Great for her. Or we could say, oh, wow, she looks really cozy. Her morning looks really beautiful. How can I implement that with what I already have? Somebody having more stuff than you or different things than you doesn't make what you have bad or not good enough. Maybe you have a different planner or planning system, and buying a new planner isn't going to make you a better or more efficient planner. This brings me to my next point about fixing ourselves with stuff. This lifestyle marketing really tries to communicate this idea that we'll be different people with stuff. That running shoe example that says that we'll be better runners with this running shoe, or having a planner will make us planner people or more organized. Guess what? You will not change who you are because of a product. You will change who you are because of some desire in you. If you want to become a more organized person, if that's what you actually want, you don't need anything to do that. You could print free stuff off online. You can use Google Calendar. You can use Notion. There's free tools right now to help you become a more organized person if that's what you want for yourself. And buying something new will not change who you are at a fundamental level. And that is why experiential marketing is so potent is because it convinces us that we'll be different people with different stuff. And this can even influence why lifestyle marketing is so effective. If I see myself as disorganized and I want to fix it, fix my disorganization, I can fix my disorganization by buying a planner. I've personally had more extreme examples of this, but I've fallen absolutely into this trap of fixing myself with stuff. Advertising campaigns can sometimes get into my head and really affect my perceived inadequacies and trying to become different with stuff. And so this is why contentment is so important. When we're content with our stuff, we are less susceptible to lifestyle marketing or marketing in general. And I think it helps us understand that when we want to make a change, that we're making it out of a positive place and we're making it out of desires to be better people, not because we're inadequate people and making these changes out of a bad or negative place. If I could communicate one thing to you now, if you truly want to be a different person, channel that into contentment and gratitude. Those are absolutely free habits to cultivate. And you could start doing that right now. Number 5, appreciating the mundane. A key lesson I've learned in the past year is that most of our lives happen in the mundane. If you have a job, here's what I think a lot of people's days look like. Wake up, likely early, get ready, maybe you shower, have breakfast, maybe put on your makeup. You gotta get dressed, you go to work, potentially you have a commute, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes, hour and a half maybe. I don't know, all of our commutes are different. Then you get home, maybe somewhere between 5 and 7, and then you make dinner. Maybe you go on the computer or watch shows, and then you get ready for bed. So on a conservative end, let's say your work day from the time you wake up to the time that you get home is 7:30 to 5:30. I don't think a lot of people's days look like this, but yours could. And I'm taking the conservative end here to make a point. So that's 10 hours a day that is related or that are related to work things. So it's 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. Over the course of a month, that's over 200 hours. Over the course of, let's say, 48 weeks, that's 2,400 hours a year on work or work-related goings on. And if you sleep on average of 7 hours a night, that's 1,680 hours over the course of a 48-week year. And I'm again being generous here with 48 weeks. That's taking off holidays and potentially time off. So in 48 weeks, 7 days, not 5. I was calculating based on 5 for the actual work, but in 48 weeks of 7 days, there's a total of 8,064 hours. In that period, if you remove 7 hours of sleep, that's 2,352 hours. You're left with 5,712 hours. If you spend 2,400 hours on work-related activities, that's 42% of your waking hours across an entire year on work. 42%. You, of course, likely have other mundane activities in your life, like grocery shopping, running errands, going to the doctors, etc., etc. I'm just trying to illustrate just how much time we spend on the mundane, going to work. And even without work-related activities, after work stuff, what are you doing after work? Are you sitting on the couch? Are you watching TV? Are you eating dinner with your family? So much of your time, even the getting ready in the morning for work, eating dinner, just can feel like every day boring, not exciting. Who wants to clean their house? I don't. The mundanity of everyday life, I don't know if that's a word, but it is today, can really affect us. It can make us unhappy people, and it can make us just feel like our lives suck. It's like, what did I do this week? I just worked, And of course, having jobs we like help, but because so much of our time happens in the mundane, we need to find ways to enjoy the mundane and the everyday. When it comes to contentment with ourselves and our lives, being able to enjoy the mundane as best as we can will go a long way in our overall contentment and happiness levels. And how that will look could depend on the person. Making our time of getting ready in the morning as enjoyable as possible, making our coffee routine just tasty and exciting. Making your dinner time a fun place to be. Making sure maybe that our phones are away and we're engaging with our spouses or children or friends or siblings or roommates, and making dinner time a fun, engaging family time. And, for me, this was a question that was really on my mind at the end of last year. And I've put in a lot of effort into making my wake up time, my skincare time, my shower time, and my coffee time, and my makeup time as fun times in my life and something to enjoy. I'll save YouTube videos for when I eat, so I'm waiting all day anticipating, and I'm like just eating that up. For me as well, Friday night is pasta night just about every week. And it gives me something to look forward to. I also like to try new recipes every now and then, certainly not every week, but maybe like once every few weeks. Well, I'm just giving you a couple of examples from my life. I know that there are so many of you out there who probably have really fabulous ideas and ways that you go about appreciating your own life. But listen, my friends, even if we work from home, doesn't matter. Most of us have to work. Most of our waking lives happen in the getting ready, going to bed, eating, working, and a lot of life happens in the little things. If we can't appreciate those, I don't think we're going to be happy or content people. And so I think that there's a lot of fun to be had here in experimenting and figuring out how to appreciate the most mundane parts of our lives. Number 6 is learn to be bored. And learning how to occupy your time and your mind with things that you enjoy instead of shopping or doing things on default is definitely challenging. And this was challenging for me as somebody who came from a background of over shopping and shopping as a hobby in essence. And, a lot of us do a lot of boredom shopping or boredom scrolling, but not just that, or not just shopping as a hobby and filling the time. But I think this applies as well when we feel bored in an aspect of our lives, like our makeup collections, our wardrobes, or our home decor. When we feel bored with the state of things, we will shop, or people can shop, in order to refresh things and feel re-excited or reinvigorated with what they have. And listen, if the only way for you to feel fresh or excited about what you own is to buy something new, I think we are in trouble. Because that means in order to constantly feel satisfied or to constantly feel happy with the state of things, you always need to be buying something new, or the way to fix it is to buy something. And this was really articulated to me in a really clear way, or in a new way, when I heard this advice from parenting. It might have been a blog or a TikTok or something like that. And this mom was talking about how children need boredom. And if your child comes to you and says like, hey mom, I'm bored, or hey dad, I'm bored, we need to let children figure out boredom because it's an opportunity. And the idea here is that we are our most creative and we are our most analytical or problem-solving when we're bored. We have to fix our boredom, but our mind can also wander into other parts of our lives, maybe things that we haven't thought of yet or fixed or articulated. Maybe or what happened to me a lot was I would be thinking about schoolwork or, trying to avoid it, and I'll be showering. And then this idea will come to my mind while I'm showering. And I'm like, okay, I have to write that down. Or video ideas will come to me when I'm listening to music or showering or something like that. So being bored is a good thing. And by the time that we're adults, we likely already have habits built around boredom, gut instincts, or things that we do on impulse when we're bored. And so I think that to, be a content, fulfilled person is to figure out how to be bored, or more so, how to embrace boredom. To relearn the gut instinct and not go for the wallet when we're feeling bored in our lives or bored with what we have. When we want to be content people, we need to accept our stuff for what it is. And we need to learn to love our stuff when it's not shiny and new anymore. How do we continue to be excited about what we have when you own the thing for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? And boredom can be a really good opportunity to figure out new habits and to relearn some. I mean, that is a huge part of contentment with this stuff, is appreciating things and figuring out how to be happy and satisfied with our stuff once we've owned it for a long period of time. Because guess what? Something being new is the shortest part of the window of owning a thing. The longest part of stuff ownership is when it's not new anymore. It's when it's old news. And so being content with our stuff and trying to figure out how to appreciate things when it's not new also will help with decluttering out of boredom and decluttering when things aren't fresh and shiny anymore. That's a hard thing to do, but a necessary one. Whew. That was a great video. I think there's lots of things to say. I'm really excited to hear what you have to say in the comments. How have you combated boredom? I'm very curious about that in specific. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.